So now that I have my flooring all painted up, I can begin the process of putting together the rooms. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I assemble one of the rooms for the inn. But before I do that, I just want to show you the results of the rest of the flooring that I've painted up. These pieces will all be used for the hallway sections in the inn. And again, I painted them all at the same time with the same color treatment to try and have them match up as closely as possible. And what I did was combine some of that raw sienna, and I've got a tube of acrylic yellow ochre and some of that unbleached titanium, and I just blended it together until I got what looked like a hardwood flooring color, and then I just dry brushed it on in various thickness, amounts of paint on the brush, and I think that turned out pretty good. And then because each room is, I want each room to look the same, I've gone ahead and painted each room up and labeled them just so I know which is which, and when I painted those again, I kept things consistent. So for example, the room that's going to be holding the booths in the inn are painted up to resemble each other, and the great room has a number of 7-inch long sections and a couple of 2-inch long pieces that frame the fireplace footing, which is made of it's going to be made of the stone tile, so I'm going to be using the cracked earth floor tiles for those. So that's going to be the great room. These 4 pieces will make up the balcony. The bar is the largest room. It's got, I believe, 7-inch long pieces. So I've gone with a fairly dark look for that room. Let's see. The kitchen also has some stone flooring in it, along where the fireplaces are. So it's got various sizes as well, and it's got a hatch that goes down into the cellar. The floor of the cellar is entirely made of stone, so there's no wooden flooring for that room. And then 4 of the bedrooms, or 4 of the smaller rooms. One's considered the office. These are all consist of 3 5-inch tiles, and so that's the office. The one that's described as the Hobbit bedroom, painted that one up again a little bit differently. The bedroom with the large window, painted like that, and the bedroom with the recessed arch, painted to look like that. Here are my hallway sections assembled. I've taken the hot glue gun and to give a tighter bond, and glued together my 2-inch by 4-inch sections of hallway, my 2-inch by 6-inch sections of hallway, and my 2x2 pieces of hallway. These all have been painted with the same color treatment, and now that they're glued together, they're lined up on one end with some extra foam board to be trimmed off on 2 sides. Because each of the tongue depressors were cut by hand and using a ruler, there is a little bit of misalignment, and I don't mind that at all. It might even add to the look, except for at the very ends when I go to trim the foam board off. I might have to do a little bit of filing to get the ends of each hallway section to line up really well, which also might require a little bit of touch-up paint. Some are better than others. There's a little bit of difference in that one, and again here each one has got a slight little bit of difference, again because I cut all these pieces of wood by hand using a miter box, and so they're not perfect, but it's a fun experiment, and I like the way things are working so far. So those are all my hallways, and now I'm beginning to put together the first room, and according to the plans online, this room is going to be the office. So what I've done is laid out the first tier of wall pieces. Nothing's glued together yet. And the flooring, just to see how it's going to look. The office flooring is one where I just dry brushed on or painted on the dark brown and didn't apply any other treatment, just to give it a dark look. There's going to be an entrance to the room here and one over here. And because again the tongue depressors are not perfectly an inch wide, and because of my cutting, the pieces are fairly good as far as the length goes, but overall the plaster tiles don't line up perfectly with them. So in a couple of instances here, for example, on this corner, I've had to sand the block down slightly to get it to fit up snug and make a nice even corner. And I've just bought a little sanding block that you can get at any hardware store for a couple dollars, and but 10 seconds of sanding it down, it fits. So in a couple places, this block here and this one here has been sanded as well, just to make sure that the room is nice and square. So when they get lined up, they'll butt up well against other hallway sections and other rooms. So this room is going to have windows along 2 walls. The online instructions call for these arched windows. I've got a couple that have been sent to me by Ben from Ben's RPG Pile. I don't have a whole lot of them though, and I don't have the molds for that type of stone arch. So I might go with square windows or some other design. Anyway, it'll turn out fine, and it'll be a unique piece. So I'm going to assemble the walls, and we'll take a look at the finished result. And while I'm still going to be using the hot glue on the floor tiles, I'm going to be using the regular tacky glue for the walls, just to avoid the mess, and because the plaster seems to hold up fairly well with this. So we'll take a look at the finished room. Here's the office now with the walls finished. The paint's not quite set yet, so I won't handle it too vigorously. But it's a nice 3x5 room, and the original plan called for arched windows along this wall, and I've just gone for squared off windows instead. I think that works just fine. And along this long wall, it was supposed to have had a wooden framed window, but considering it's the office, and windows might not necessarily be the most important part of the room, perhaps I'll save my windows for some of the guest rooms. I decided to install a built-in ledge using 1.5 inch floor tiles, so that sort of extends out into from the wall there. And so I filled the gap with floor tiles that are 1/2 inch thick, and so 2 courses of that will make the 1/2 inch course of stone that you get from the regular wall pieces. So that's going to be a nice sort of stone shelf that's inside the room, and I've got some accessories I can put on the shelf. And then from the outside, it looks like there's a few courses of stone, and then a couple courses of brick, and then the wall is topped off with some more stone. So I'll see about how I plan on painting that up. I might just paint it all up to look like stone, or I might make it look like it's actually brick in there. We'll see. And the doors are fine. This door over here, I don't know if you can see, I put a little 1/2 inch thick, or 1/4 inch thick piece of, let's try that again, let's see if you can get that. Right there, so a little recessed alcove next to the door, and it's made with a 1/4 inch thick piece of floor tile, 1/2 inch in length. And perhaps I can put a small lantern there, or something else next to the door, to represent a spot where you'd keep a lantern before you headed out the door after dark. Or I've got another piece that is a little sort of like a wall safe, maybe a spot to keep the keys for the inn. in the office. So that should turn out fine. And then on the opposite side, it just looks like a little panel of masonry there. So the windows from that side, a little bit, a couple gaps in the brickwork there. Things again not lining up just perfectly. Maybe I'll fill that in somehow. I've got some wood putty, who knows, I'll fill that in perhaps. And the other door, I just capped off the sides of the door with another couple of these 1/2 inch square pieces of floor tile. I have the doors. I'm not sure yet again about how many of them I'm going to be permanently putting in place or just leaving them open like that. A lot of the doors I have rounded tops, and again I don't have the arches for the top, so I might sand them down, or I might just leave them rounded, sitting in the doorways like they are. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result of the first room. Between now and the next video, I might go ahead and put together the remaining, I think there's 4 more rooms that have 3x5 floor space. I might go ahead and put those in and show you those in the next video. And in the next video, I'm going to tackle one of the more complex rooms, perhaps the rooms with the booths, or the bar or the kitchen. I've got a few options there. So while our young heroine here tries to fend off a couple of orcs that somehow have made it into the office, I don't know how, we'll see you next time.